Hello friends, TechManPat here. I'm out by the pool in the absolute blazing Perth sun with this, the Aiper Scuba X1 Pro Max. And this machine has made me officially too lazy to scoop any leaves out today. But laziness is actually another word for innovation, and that's where this cordless robot cleaner comes into its keep. And much like the moment robot vacuums figured out how to mop and vacuum at the same time and navigate your home, this Aiper bot has just become twice as useful. Now, we've covered a lot of pool robots on this channel over the last few years. Every one of them had their strengths, weaknesses, and very real limitations. But from my testing so far, I'm seeing a lot more strengths than compromises here. We're talking genuinely smart navigation in water, which is not easy to pull off. So the big question is, could this be the first no compromises pool robot? Well, maybe, but before we get ahead of ourselves, I need to get this off my chest. Holy moly, this thing is hefty. It weighs around 15 kilograms dry. This is less a pool toy and more a mini submarine. You absolutely feel it when you haul this thing out of the water. Which leads me to the next question. Does all that size and scale actually translate into real-world performance? Let's answer that and a whole lot more right after the intro. Let's start with power and suction. When the Scuba X1 Pro Max powers up, you instantly know that it's not some lightweight gadget pretending to be serious. Under this chunky shell is a dual jet 9-motor brushless system. That's basically 9 tiny jet engines all working together and then consistently pushing and pulling water and of course the debris. On paper, Aiper claims 8,500 gallons per hour of suction, which in normal human units is around 32,000 liters per hour. In the real world, on my first run, it absolutely backed that up. Fine sand, leaf fragments, larger leaves, even small pebbles. It just hoovered it all up without hesitation. No clogging, no slowing down, no drama. Stuff that usually needs 2 or 3 passes is gone in one. And the best way I can describe it is this: debris don't slowly get sucked in, they just disappear, almost comically fast. Let's talk about smarts, because this is where the Scuba X1 Pro Max really starts showing off. It's running OmniSense Plus 2.0 ultrasonic mapping with 40 sensors dotted all around the hull. Think of it like a robotic bat underwater, consistently firing off sonar pings and building a mental map of your pool as it goes. This thing doesn't just bounce around randomly like the older cleaners, it actually plans its route across your pool, no matter the size or shape. You can see it switches between a smart S-shape and a Y-shape cleaning pattern to make sure it gets full coverage of the pool floor and walls with no weird missed patches or repeating processes. Another big highlight here is FlexiPath 2.0. Based on your pool's layout, the robot dynamically adapts its cleaning path in real time. I even dragged it to different parts of this pool mid-cycle, and it instantly recalculated where it was and had already been and where it still needs to go. Now, the pool is not as complex as a home, but having water in the way forces you to innovate on how. Being able to map the pool is like black magic at this point, and yet here it is. So let's talk about the cleaning modes. The X1 Pro Max gives you 3 cleaning modes. Of course, Eco, Auto, and Max. So you can dial in exactly how hard you want the robot to go in your pool. Now, of course, Eco mode is quiet and energy efficient, perfect for light tidy-ups, and Max mode, on the other hand, is full send. Jets crank, suction maxed out, proper deep clean for when the pool's had a rough week. Then there's Auto mode, which is the smart middle ground. The robot actually senses how dirty your pool is and adjusts the power on the fly. Clean pool? Well, it backs off a little bit. Messy pool, of course, steps it up. Switching between the modes is also dead simple with a couple of buttons here. I would assume Auto mode is where everyone keeps this robot at, and let's talk about this, the best part, the dual function that I mentioned earlier. It is a true all-in-one cleaner. And I mean everything. It vacuums the water surface, scrubs the pool floor, climbs and cleans the walls, and even tackles the waterline. That stubborn little algae ring and the grime that builds up right at the edge of the pool. And after a full cycle, the pool looked really fresh, just as if it was always this clean. But let's address the elephant in the room. The power comes at a price. Currently on sale for $2,699 Australian dollars, while the normal price is $3,499. The level of expectation here is very high. There are some real trade-offs. As I alluded to, it's seriously heavy, so hauling it out is a workout. It's overkill for small pools. No way should you be buying this if you have a small pool. Even a medium pool, this might be a little bit much. While the app is handy, there's no real-time manual steering, which some folks might miss, and charging takes around 4 to 6 hours because it is wireless, so it's not ideal if you want to do back-to-back cleaning. Now, the Scuba X1 Pro Max comes with this wireless charging dock. So when it's done, I just of course haul it out of the pool, and yes, my arms definitely notice it as mentioned, and drop it onto the dock. It clicks into place and start charging via the wireless induction there, like plonking your phone onto a wireless charger. No cables to plug in, except of course into the stand. But this means there's no corroded contacts on the actual robot. And finally, if your pool's a full swamp mode, the ultrasonic mapping can get a bit confused during its first time. It likes a semi-clean slate to start from. So as long as you do that first, everything after the fact will be perfect. But let's talk about that battery life and what's under the hood here. The Scuba X1 Pro Max is running a 10,400 milliamp hour battery, and on paper, Aiper says you're looking at around 10 to 12 hours of surface cleaning. So it just floats along, grabs the leaves at the top, or roughly 5 hours if it's hammering the floor and sides non-stop. In real world, that's actually, well, very close on the surface. I let it run in eco mode, it was great. But in max mode, and if you really wanted to do a big clean, it was much shorter lifespan. But it of course ran long enough to keep the pool clean. And that's the key thing here. No more watching this like a hawk, wondering if it's going to die halfway through a cycle. Most pools, it'll cover it in one go. On top of that, when the battery gets low or the cleaning cycle finishes, the robot automatically ascends to the surface. I watched it pop up on its own so I could grab it without having to get into the pool or try and fish it out with a long pole. It makes it a lot easier. So finally, let's talk about the filter, because this is where a lot of the pool robots quietly fall apart. Here, the Scuba X1 Pro Max uses a micro mesh ultra fine filter that traps particles down to just 3 microns. In normal human language, that means algae dust, pollen, and fine sand just don't stand a chance here. And after a particularly messy run, I pulled out that filter basket, and honestly, it looked like someone had tipped coffee grounds into it. All that fine junk that normally stays suspended in really still water, well, it was gone. Aiper even throws in an extra filter in the box, which is actually a genuinely nice touch. Maintenance overall is basically a non-issue. The unit feels really rock solid, more like a little tank than a flimsy plastic toy, of course. The only regular job I had were emptying the filters and pulling out the occasional bits of dog hair out of the brushes. Totally normal stuff if you have a dog, of course, and if you let them swim in the pool. Now, there's no chemical soaks required, no fiddly parts, no contacts to get corroded as mentioned before. So, what is the verdict here? Well, the Aiper Scuba X1 Pro Max does live up to the hype. It delivers genuinely insane suction, rock solid coverage of course, with its smart navigations. It's fully cordless with a simple wireless charging dock, and the battery life is strong enough that you're not stressing about it dying halfway through a clean. The cons? Well, it's heavy and it's not cheap, of course, but honestly, that's the price of entry when you're packing this much power. And the tech that you have in here is absolute top notch. So huge thanks to Aiper for sponsoring this overview and testing. Links below where you can get your own, and even they provided a special discount code for you to use on their store. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.